I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called a wrestling hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that's without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound, and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things, and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And this week was a very busy week for a number of reasons.
I'm so sad, Bill.
You want me to send you tissues?
I'm so sad, Bill. John Cena and Bella Ballas broken up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sad. I mean, hello, everybody.
Well, that will be one of the many things that we talk about this week on the show.
You mean that a fake relationship on a fake
on a fake TV show?
On a fake TV show was fake? What?
I know, right?
What's the next thing? Brad and Angela? Oh, wait.
We're already past that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Also, we're gonna review the Superstar Shakeup, and we're gonna tell you guys who we think each won that shakeup. I think it's a pretty easy one. Plus, we are going to make our predictions for Impact Wrestling's Redemption pay-per-view, which is this Sunday night, and predictions for the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is going to be next Friday. So,
and Bill, you and me, we are of course going to watch that live together.
About.
Come on, it's not that early.
I know, but let me see. Well, maybe I could work it out. I got four personal days off I could use. Maybe I can use this one.
I think you should.
I think I could.
I mean, it's the greatest Royal Rumble ever.
I know, it's the greatest. It's not just
greatest.
It's not just good. It's the greatest.
Greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh my.
Yo.
We do have to begin, unfortunately, with the recent passing of Bruno Sammartino, who passed away on Wednesday. I did a video about it on YouTube, but I wanted to talk a little more about this because there's so much about the guy that I really don't think a video could have done justice. Like, a long video. I had talked about, some of the things he has done, his stories, his story in general is amazing. Like, the life he led, the life he had, the fact that he almost died twice as a kid, I'm curious, Fro, because you're in the continent where Bruno was born. How was the news reception taken in Europe, generally?
I was like, was he born in Norway? He wasn't born in Norway.
No, I know, but I figure, you have Italy and Norway, and I figure it would have been big news over there.
No.
Really?
No. I mean, I'm Italian.
I'm a little surprised. I thought that would have been huge.
No, nobody cares about wrestling here.
Well, except you.
Yeah. Oh, did you know WWE is coming to Norway?
Really?
Yes, for the first time in history.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm thinking of going.
You should go. You should go.
I hear a lot of people saying that, but I have to go alone. I'm not sure.
On ticket price? Cheap seats.
The ticket price isn't too bad.
Oh.
Around $43.
Go. But
maybe.
Yeah. But back to Bruno. I mean,
yes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. The news really struck here in America. I mean, it was.
I mean, he's the living legend.
Yeah, he was. He was the living legend.
Yes.
I mean, there's like I said, there's so many stories.
Hall of Fame speech is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he looked in great shape. He was speaking normally. He wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I wanted to point out, for our younger fans who probably don't know Bruno as well as I do, and I only know because of reading his book, which is a fantastic autobiography, by the way. It's just called Bruno Sammartino, the autobiography of wrestling's living legend. So that should be pretty simple to find. When he became champion in 1963, because he was he lived in Pittsburgh, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a sports reference here. The Pittsburgh Steelers of the National Football League sucked at that time, from pretty much the entire 60s. It really wasn't until he 70s.
Is it now that I'm supposed to say, don't they still suck?
No, they're still good. I mean, they're good. Yeah. But in the 60s, that was like a bad time for the Steelers. The Pirates, they had won a championship in 60 or 61 for baseball, and then the rest of the 60s really weren't that much of a factor. They became popular in the 70s. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins for hockey, they weren't born into existence until the mid to late 60s, and they didn't really become relevant until the 90s. So for a long time, Bruno was not only the champion of the WWF, but he was, you could say, the champion that represented all of Pittsburgh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And, you know, and he, you know, when he became, you know, when he got into Pittsburgh when he was a teenager, I mean, he was a shrimp, literally a shrimp. He wasn't even weighing 100 pounds soaking wet. And, you know, he took to the gym every day, and that's where he got his muscles. And he was a firm believer in weights and, you know, exercise, especially the weights, because he felt the best way to get the muscles were those workouts. He was so anti-steroid that, you know, if he had been on any commission in baseball for steroids, he probably would have been the leader of that group. But
he is the longest living champion in the world, isn't
he was. He had, his first reign was 7.5 years long.
7.5 years?
That's never going to be topped.
No.
That's never going to be
topped. That's the record that really, really matters.
And then his second reign was 4 years long. So between the two reigns, he was champion for 11 years.
Holy shit. That is a record that matters.
Mm-hmm. Because when CM Punk had that title, you know, that long title reign in 2011 and the 2012, you know, they kept saying every week, you know, the number of days. Mm. And it was like, okay, well, we know he'll never reach Bruno. No one's ever going to reach Bruno's mark. There's just no way. But
he was close.
I mean, yeah, close-ish. But it was just fun to watch, you know. And I think Bruno had fun with it too, you know, because it was bringing back the days of, you know, here's Bruno, you know.
Yeah.
And then another.
Do you think he's one of the biggest living champions of his time when he lived? Is it that big a matter? Or?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he represented, Fro, the Italian population of New York and the U.S. You know, he was 100% pure Italian. Mm. And, you know, he was just so popular. It was amazing how over he was.
And when was he champion for 7 years?
He won the title May of 1963. We're actually coming up in a few weeks on the 55th anniversary of that event. He won the title in May of 63, and he lost the title in January of 1971.
This is maybe a weird question to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
What was the reason for him having the champion so long? Was it that he didn't have anyone to go against, or was it the popularity?
Oh, it was the popularity. He was so popular.
You have to remember, I came into the WWE.
Right. Yeah, for those listening for the first time, Fro is to a degree a newbie. Not too much of a newbie, but he is.
No.
But no, Bruno was so popular. I think the only other two that I could compare him, like if we were going to go current, the last 25, 30 years as far as popularity goes, would have to be Hogan and Austin.
Really? It was on that level?
That level.
Oh.
And another story that I didn't get a chance to talk about in the video, but I really liked, was how, excuse me, Bruno had a chance in the 60s to meet with the Pope. Don't ask me which Pope it was, because I honestly do not remember which Pope it was at the time, in the book. But, so he got a chance to meet the Pope, and after he met the Pope, somebody that represented him came over to him, and he was like, Mr. Sammartino, if you don't mind, whatever you do, please do not share do not share any pictures of you with the Pope while he was still alive. And to Bruno's credit, he never shared that picture. He only shared the picture after he had died, and the picture is in the book of Bruno meeting the Pope.
Okay.
So that shows you...
Did he get a reason why he shouldn't share it? Or?
Probably for security reasons. Well, you gotta... You gotta remember, this is... I mean, the Pope is one of the biggest figures in the world. But to Bruno's credit, he was a man who kept his word. Which is one thing I admire the heck out of Bruno Sammartino. He was a man who kept his word. If he said to you, hey, I'm going to do such and such, he was going to do it. If he was going to be somewhere, he was going to be there. And then one other thing, and then I'll give some information on his services. He did work a few times for WCW. He was the guest referee for the main event of the first Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, where it was Terry Funk and the Great Muta against Sting and Ric Flair in the Thunderdome cage. Imagine all the... I mean, think about that. Bruno.
Sounds like a good main event, but
Sting, Flair, Funk, Muta, all in one ring. You would never get that again.
No.
And then he did, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, but he came back 3 years later for Halloween Havoc 92 as someone who gave guest analysis. He wasn't on commentary, but he gave guest analysis with Tony Schiavone during the pay-per-view. So, he did go, and this was during that time where he was so against the product of WWF. And unlike other people, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on, Bruno was never bitter. I never thought of Bruno as a bitter guy. He was a guy who was proud of what he accomplished, what he had done, what he represented, and didn't like the change. And unlike other people who are probably misinformed, he didn't watch it. And if he did... You okay?
Yes.
And if he did, it was just to, be like, hey, I'm just saying I don't like this product. But thankfully, Triple H was the one that was able to get Bruno to come back into the WWE family, and then the long overdue induction into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I wish I had gone to that one.
Late.
I wish I had gone to that night. Oh.
That's one of the best inductees I've seen.
Well, like I said,
that's so powerful.
Well, it's like I said. I still think that's the greatest class that WWE's ever had. Just considering who was in it, but but
it's a strong year.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno's definitely going to be missed. I know. As a fan, growing up, I got older, I got smarter, and I realized how much Bruno meant to the business. And I will say there will never be another Bruno Sammartino in this or any other lifetime. So,
No, it's impossible. I mean, he will be next.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the big guys. He's one of the ones that really did matter. He's one of those that matter a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will think back on him as someone that was one of the biggest superstars of the WWE. I mean, I have tremendous respect for the guy. I really do. He's one of those that matters.
And I'll say this. Without Bruno, WWE would never have grown into this conglomerate it is today. All those years in the 60s and the 70s were from Bruno, and if it wasn't for Bruno, there would never be a Hogan, there would never be an Austin, a Rock, a Triple H. We would never have had a WrestleMania. We would have never had these big things. And really, a lot of it should go to Bruno Sammartino. So
I'm kind of showing my ignorance there, but was he ever in WrestleMania?
He was, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
At the first WrestleMania, he was in the corner of his son David Sammartino.
That's right.
He had a match against Brutus Beefcake, which actually is not that bad of a match. At least I don't think it's that bad of a match.
That's right.
And then the next year,
I haven't seen WrestleMania 1 in the longest time.
Yeah, and then in WrestleMania 2, he was a part of the Battle Royal with the football players, and he made it to about the last 8-10 guys in that match. So Bruno did pretty good in that. We do have information on his services for those who are interested. There will be 2 days of viewings at the Frey Vogel Funeral Home on Center Avenue in Pittsburgh on April 21st and the 22nd. 2 services from 2 to 4 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. That's on Saturday and Sunday. And the funeral will take place this Monday at 10 a.m. at the St. Sebastian Church in the North Hills. And I can only just imagine the amount of people that will be there for the funeral and the services. So I wish I could go to that, but
where is it?
In Pittsburgh.
Oh, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Do you think CM Punk is going?
I doubt it. Although, you never know. You never know.
Wasn't he friends with Bruno?
He might have been. You never know.
I think I think I've heard some rumors about him and Bruno being friends.
Yeah. I also want to mention, while we're at it, later that same day we got the sad news, and I know you're not going to know this person, but I'll go into a little bit of who he was. Paul Jones passed away Wednesday night. That's why I knew you were going to say that. He was mainly he was a wrestler at first. He wrestled in the Mid-Atlantic Territory and Georgia. He was a face for a while, and then he became a heel, and then he transitioned into being a manager, and he was a good manager. He managed a lot of different heels. He most notably had a feud in the 80s with Jimmy Valiant while he was a manager, which was which was very interesting. It actually led to 2 Starrcade matches in 84 and 86. And he managed a lot of guys. Let me pull up the talent of men that he managed. It was a who's who of professional wrestlers back in the day. He managed Abdullah the Butcher, the Barbarian, Manny Fernandez, Dory Funk Jr., Superstar Billy Graham, Ivan Koloff, Kamala, Jake the Snake Roberts, Rick Rude, the Warlord, and the list goes on and on. And he even led Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude to the World Tag Team titles in 87. So he was not a slouch manager by any means. I mean, he was a successful manager. He led a team to the World Tag Team titles, in the Jim Crockett promotion. So he was very good. I think he's an underrated figure in pro wrestling history, not only for what he did in the ring, but out of the ring, especially as a manager.
Cool.
And he was 75 years old, and I figured, we should mention him while we're talking about passings here. Would be a little weird to not mention Paul Jones, because there are Mid-Atlantic fans still, so...
But let's talk about the most sad news about John Cena leaving.
All right, we'll get to it. So I just want to say real quick, thoughts and condolences go out to the family of Paul Jones. So, if those unfortunate news isn't hard enough for you,
I know.
On Sunday night, the shocking news of John Cena and Nikki Bella, I almost said Brie Bella, Nikki Bella breaking up.
I think she's married.
Yeah, I think so too. Literally weeks before they got married.
This is literally, I don't use the word literally.
And that word gets overused time to time, folks.
Yes, but this is literally weeks before the wedding. Is it 3?
I believe it was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now here's the funny thing though. Before we go further into this, I did not know they had set a date for the wedding. Oh,
I actually knew that. Yeah.
You did? Okay. So they were.
But I watched Total Divas and Total Bellas.
See?
I know everything. Yeah.
So they were originally supposed to be married on May the 5th, which here in the U.S. is a big deal because it's Cinco de Mayo. And they would have been married in Mexico.
Yes.
There have been different reports.
A wedding that would really matter. Yes.
I mean, there's just so many different things, so many weird things about this, because it's like the news broke that they broke up. And then it was like, oh, Nikki Bella is devastated, they decided to break up. And then it was like, oh, John Cena might have had cold feet, maybe he wasn't ready to get married yet. And then there's this report where it was Nikki Bella that was the one who called off the wedding and called off the engagement. And if that's the case, I have to give her a little bit of applause because I did see the first season of Total Divas. I'm not going to lie. I did. And John was, if you remember that last episode, he's like, I don't ever want to get married. I don't ever want to have kids. Exactly. Where Nikki was the complete opposite, where she wanted to be married, she wanted to have kids. And, she worked so hard, and then last year, we get that moment at WrestleMania where John Cena proposes to her.
The most fake proposal ever. #yes.
And now it's like that WrestleMania moment is going to be erased real quickly.
Yep. But I'm going to say this because I really don't care about those two people not getting married. But maybe the problem with Bill was that she couldn't see him.
Oh, jeez. That's the same joke I have read all freaking week. Unbelievable. Now,
I'm so satisfied.
I know you are. Now I do want to ask though, and this is a serious question. With this breakup, who does this hurt more as far as the public image goes? Does it hurt Nikki or does it hurt John?
No, definitely him.
It hurts John more?
Oh yeah, I think so. You don't think so?
I don't know. I want to say it does hurt him, but at the same time, I don't know. That whole relationship was so weird.
I mean, we all knew it was fake-ish.
Right.
The only thing that I'm going to be somewhat an asshole and say something really weird.
Okay.
I do think this could hurt the chances of us for getting more total Bellas, because I don't think the E Network would be interested in buying a season without John Cena's name. I know that's kind of an asshole thing to say, but I do think John Cena sold a lot of interest to Total Bellas.
Okay.
So without John Cena, I don't think there will be any more Total Bellas.
Interesting.
What do you think? Do you think I'm...
Well, here's what I think. Daniel Bryan is still there. And as long as Daniel Bryan is still there, which is going to be forever, I think, because that is a cute couple, him and Brie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have kids together.
I think they're going to be together. I think what could be an interesting storyline for Total Bellas is Nikki finding a new man. So,
I mean, I think one of the biggest problems is that they don't really have anything to do with the WWE to do anymore. Like, they are both retired. And I mean, they don't really have anything to do with them. So, I think the John Cena angle was something that kept the interest up for me, at least.
right.
I'm not sure if I will be interested in seeing a season of Total Bellas without John Cena there.
Well, I mean,
So maybe in the long term it would be bad for her, but I mean, you should marry for love and not for fucking money.
Exactly. But
I'm not judging her at all.
No, I'm not judging either one of them. You know,
I don't know.
Whatever happened. So, but
I think it's a great move. To be honest,
I think as not only fans, but also human beings, we should respect the privacy of both John Cena and Nikki Bella during this time, and when either one or both are ready to speak, then we'll talk about it. But
were you a little surprised that he wasn't in the shape-shifting thing? I mean, it looks like he is going to be a free agent again.
No, I wasn't surprised. He's a free agent, so. But we will talk about that in a little bit.
Do you think is there any plans of getting him back soon?
Oh no, he's going to be busy for a while. I think he's going to be doing a lot of making movies and TV appearances. So,
what is his plans for the coming future? Do you know?
he'll be back. He's not retired, but...
No, but what is his plans? Right now. He has this new thing coming out.
Blockers.
Called, Blockers.
Yeah.
I've seen.
That looks really
good. Reviews for it, actually.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. But what is his plan after Blockers, do you know?
Let me check. Let me see what his...
IMDb.
Well, I was going to check Wikipedia, but I could do IMDb as well. Okay, he is doing, or they're in post-production, of a movie called Bumblebee the Movie, which is the Transformers movie.
Right. I heard rumors he would be in that, yeah.
So they're in post-production. That's going to come out at the end of this year.
Right.
And right now, he is working on a movie which will be released in 2019. They are filming a movie called The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Where he voices a character named Yoshi.
Yeah.
So
he does a lot of voice work. Like Ferdinand?
Ferdinand, yeah.
Really, really good.
He was the main character.
I was really, really surprised by Ferdinand. That movie surprised the fuck out of me. I thought it was going to be a shit movie. I loved the story about the ox that doesn't want to fight.
Oh yeah, it looked good. It looked good, or at least I thought.
You should really see it, Bill.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's get. Yeah. Anyway, this next story. Oh my goodness.
Too much about John Cena.
Yeah, you think? Okay. This next one. This is probably going to be the reason why we get an explicit label this week.
Okay.
Because this story involves everybody's favorite bitter...
Alberto Del Rio?
No.
Oh.
Bitter old wrestler, Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Now...
what has he said this week?
Okay. Now, let me just say real quick. I respect him for what he did in professional wrestling. But as a human being, he's a prick. He is a prick. He's a piece of shit.
He is such a prick.
So, Billy Graham made a comment. He posted this on Facebook about Ronda Rousey and WrestleMania.
Oh, no.
And I posted this in our Facebook group. I'm going to read some of our comments here in a minute.
Oh, Jesus, what a moron.
So, let me read to you what he wrote to his people on Facebook, which, believe it or not, he has 5,000 friends on Facebook. I'm surprised. So, he titled this, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H.
Oh, no.
First off, to the fan who wrote... I haven't even read the first sentence and Fro's pissed.
I mean, he's such a moron. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, now hold on. Hold on. I gotta read the whole thing first.
He has never said anything nice about anybody in that company.
Well, hold on.
Shut the fuck up and... Oh.
Fro, calm down. I haven't even read the whole thing yet. Okay. So he wrote, first off, to the fan who wrote, I find Ronda's use of Piper's gimmick nauseating. You, my brother, are dead on, my man.
No! I'm having a brain aneurysm, okay?
I find it a total insult and absolutely reveals that she does not have an original thought in her head. Damn, can't she be an original at anything? This shows you how shallow she is, and by the way, I am a fan of females being in the main event. Sure you are. Anyway.
Such a fan, Billy Graham.
Anyway, that is why I put up this photo of Amanda Nunes kicking her ass in 48 seconds. She looked pitiful. A TKO in 48 seconds on December 30th, 2016 by Nunes, a real fighter, and Rousey, just a jobber.
Billy Graham. Jesus, motherfucker.
Speaking of jobbers, I read today a quote by Meltzer, Dave Meltzer, that shook me to the core. It goes as follows. There was a rumor going around by WWE officials prior to Mania 34 that Rousey was going to make Triple H tap out to her armbar finisher instead of Stephanie McMahon. And it appears the company went in the latter direction specifically due to storyline continuity reasons, as Rousey attacked Stephanie's arm the next night on Raw, whereas Triple H is not a regular on-screen character and has disappeared for now.
Why does he think his opinion matters?
Alright, well this is what he says. What? Miss Lousy was going to make H tap out? This would have been received as well as a cement truck full of pig shit being dumped on the Mania 34 fans.
Wow.
God, folks, what is the WWE thinking? Ronda Rousey is not a god of some kind, but a mere female UFC failure that got her flat ass kicked twice on the way out. Now this is nauseating. I demand that you fans respond to this crap the WWE is trying to lay on you by even thinking about her making Triple H tap out. God, this makes me sick. To help you get over your urge to vomit over this news, please click on the link directly below that my main man Mike found for me. Just a 60-second promo by me from Florida, and please tell me if anyone in the WWE today can match my short promo, unscripted and loaded. Alright.
Oh, what the fucking moron.
Alright. I would like to hear your thoughts on what I just read.
Oh, no, I mean, I totally support him. He is a good man. No, what a moron.
Oh, man. Yeah.
What is he on about? Like, flat ass. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Alright. Now, we had some comments from our Facebook friends in our group, which you guys can join, by the way. Just type in That Wrestling Show fan group, and you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Sego wrote, "He is a grumpy old man." I thought he would have gone a little more, but okay. Anthony Watson wrote, "Plus, what does it matter if she did get destroyed? The ladies of UFC are some really badass fighters. At least Ronda is showing she can keep up for right now. I actually like the way she wrestled so far."
Yeah.
Anthony's got a point.
Do too.
And finally, Dusty wrote, "To make Triple H tap to Ronda would have been bad. Triple H is a legend and a big, strong dude. It would just be a bad look for him, in my opinion."
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make this clear to this bitter old piece of shit.
Oh, sorry, my dad is calling.
Oh, you? Okay. First off, like my friend said, who gives a shit about what superstar Billy Graham talks about? He is nothing more than a bitter old man who can't accept the fact that the company that made him famous is doing much better than he is. And the fact that this old man This angry old man who's angry at everybody else for all the bad things that happened to him, when in reality, he should be mad at himself for sticking a bunch of needles up his ass taking steroids. Ronda Rousey did an amazing job at WrestleMania. I'm not saying it's the greatest performance in WrestleMania history, but what she did, she went far and beyond anybody's expectations of what she could do at WrestleMania. Plus, it was her first freaking match. Her first match. So, Billy Graham, let me give you a piece of advice. If you don't want to watch Ronda Rousey, there's a thing called a remote control. Why don't you get it out of your ass, use the remote control, and change the channel? And while we're at it, don't you dare say anything about Ronda Rousey using Roddy Piper's gimmick. Roddy Piper himself gave Ronda Rousey his permission. His family gave her their permission for her to use the rowdy gimmick. So Billy Graham, shut the hell up. Just rot away in some Arizona desert where you live in and stop putting steroids up your butt. Piece of shit.
No, I totally agree. He is a moron. He doesn't matter.
Bald-headed.
He doesn't matter at all. I don't think his opinions matter. You shouldn't listen to a person that doesn't matter, like this person doesn't matter. He does not matter.
Bald-headed piece of shit.
Yep.
The wrong Billy Graham died this year. I'd rather have Reverend Billy Graham still alive and not Superstar Billy Graham.
I agree with Bill. The wrong Billy Graham died.
Yeah, the wrong Billy Graham died. You heard it right, folks.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, folks. Anyway, now we're going to continue on with our Reality Bites segment because we're going to go from one bitter old steroid user to an insane steroid user in Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner.
Oh, yay!
For those who are unaware, and we will get to this in a moment, or in a little bit, he's wrestling on the Impact pay-per-view this Sunday, Redemption.
Yes, he is.
Where he is in the tag team title match. Well, he participated in a conference call for Impact Wrestling for this pay-per-view. Now, what I'm about to say, I think some of it is gimmick, but I think some of it is shoot. So, I'm going to read the quotes, and we're going to discuss them. When discussing the Redemption pay-per-view, Steiner talked about his opponents, LAX. And he said that LAX would be cutting his grass after the event.
Oh, that's racist.
Scott Steiner...
That's racist.
Scott Steiner would then go on to say, "That's what I don't understand. Trump wants to kick out all the Mexicans, but who's going to cut the grass? Seriously, that's a legitimate question." Oh boy. He was an All-American at Michigan, Fro. He went to the...
He's a real American.
Okay, now I think, in all seriousness, that part, that's segment, that's character. I really don't think Scott Steiner feels that way.
No.
But he did talk about another thing, and this next part, I think is Scott Steiner's real opinion. I do. He talks about fat asses. And this is only as Scott Steiner can do it. So I will try my best to read this to the point that you guys can understand.
Yeah.
These fat asses, they are pretty tough because they are physically and mentally abused because they're fat. Believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, most fat guys don't like to be called fat asses. Are you kidding me? How can you not call a fat guy fat ass? So you call a fat guy a fat ass and he immediately gets upset. Therefore, which makes it much hard for you to beat him. Man, there ain't no fat ass that is going to go one-on-one with the generic freak. Okay. Fro, I'd like to say something here. I'm not going to go after Scott Steiner like I did with Billy Graham. But I would like to point out something. Not all fat people have fat asses.
Oh, no.
I do not have a fat ass. As a matter of fact, I don't even have an ass. But
I have an ass.
But I think Scott Steiner's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you know what I mean. Steiner would go on to call Dixie Carter a dumbass for hiring the racist Hulk Hogan and cited it as a reason for... Oh, what the... As a reason for Impact's decline.
What the fuck is going on there?
Hi, Jacob. No, I'm busy recording right now. Huh? Oh, that's a nice dinosaur. You want to... Alright. So, yeah, Scott Steiner is a bit crazy, folks. Let's just go right to the point. You agree with me, Fro?
Yes.
Alright. So do you want to do predictions, or do you want to talk about the shakeup?
I want to do predictions because I have to go soon.
Okay, we're going to do predictions, so, you know what? I'm gonna bring Jacob over. Come here, Jacob.
Well, I don't have shoes on and I'm kind of doing something.
So I got the card in front of me for Redemption, and we're going to make our picks, match by match, on who we think will win. Come here.
Are you excited for birthday weekend?
So, let's start. Now, this is the Redemption show is this Sunday. Should mention that. So let's start off with this match, which will be presented by Lucha Underground, as it will be Aerostar against Drago.
I'm going Drago.
Drago, okay. Jacob, who do you like? Aerostar or Drago?
Aerostar.
Aerostar, okay. So I'm going to be the tiebreaker. I think it's going to be a fun match. I'll go Aerostar on that one. Alright, then we have a six-way match featuring Brian Cage, Taiji Ishimori, Desmond Xavier, El Hijo del Fantasma, DJ Z, and Trevor Lee. Fro, who do you like in that one?
Trevor Lee.
Trevor Lee, okay.
DJ Z.
DJ Z from The Young Man in the Studio. I'm going to go Brian Cage on this one.
Okay.
So we each have a different opinion on that one. Okay, then we have a House of Hardcore match. Eddie Edwards, Moose, and Tommy Dreamer against Sami Callihan and the Christ Brothers.
The Chris Brothers.
The Christs and Sammy. Jacob, who do you take on this one?
Chris Brothers.
Chris Brothers.
Bill, can we record the rest tomorrow?
I'm going to be at the convention. Well, this is going to be quick.
Oh.
You know what? I'll go with the both of you. I'll go Callahan and OVE. Then we have the tag team titles, LAX against Eli Drake and Scott Steiner.
Eli Drake and Scott Steiner.
Okay.
Helix.
LAX? I'm going to go LAX. I think they're going to keep the belts. Then we have the Knockouts title. Allie will defend against Su Yung.
Su Yung.
Su Yung? How about you?
Ali.
I'm going to go Su Yung on this one. I think we're going to have a new women's champion.
Yes.
Then we have, for the X Division title, Matt Sydal to defend against Petey Williams.
Petey Williams.
Oh, going with Petey. Okay, you?
Anthony Williams.
Petey Williams? I'm going to say Matt Sydal keeps the title.
No.
Oh, you're going with Matt Sydal? Okay, so that's 2 for Sydal. And the main event, a triple threat match for the Impact World title, Austin Aries defending against Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix.
Austin Aries.
Austin Aries?
In Felix.
You going with Phoenix? I'm going to go Austin Aries as well on that one.
Why do I keep losing?
No, these are pricks. You could be right on all of them on Sunday. All right, so let's do the other show real quick before Fro goes, and then I'll talk about the Superstar Shakeup, which is the greatest Royal Rumble next Friday, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. Starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. A lot of matches. See, he's already imitating the people of Saudi Arabia. He's ready. Okay, so we'll start off with the ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
Ladder?
Yeah, ladder.
Ladders are weird.
Seth Rollins to defend against The Miz, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
You're going.
I don't know.
Okay, so Jacob's going Samoa Joe. Fro doesn't have a pick.
I don't know. I think I will go with the champion.
Okay, Ooh, you know what though? That interview by Samoa Joe the other night was pretty convincing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Seth Rollins on that one. Then we have the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Bludgeon Brothers defending against the Usos.
Usos.
2 for the Usos, okay. I'm gonna go Bludgeon Brothers on this one. Then we have the Raw Tag Team titles. We're guaranteed new champions on this one. Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy against Sheamus and Cesaro.
Broken.
Alright, you're going Broken, you're going Cesaro. I'm gonna go with Bray and Matt Hardy. Then we have the United States title, the new champion Jeff Hardy defending the title against Jinder Mahal.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. After Tuesday, I'm going to say Jeff Hardy. This match has no title on the line. John Cena against Triple H.
Triple H.
Wow. I'm going to go with Cena on this one, actually. Then we have
I've seen that.
Then we have AJ Styles defending the WWE title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with your little killer there, but I'm going with the champion.
This is a tough one, because I think one of the 2 big titles is going to change hands here. I'm going to say AJ keeps it.
Yeah, I think so.
Then we have a casket match. The Undertaker versus Rusev. Undertaker. There's no way he's losing that match. I'm sorry, Jacob. If he is, I'll buy you a milkshake.
Okay.
Then we have the Universal Championship inside of a steel cage. Brock Lesnar to defend against Roman Reigns.
I'm going to go Roman Reigns.
I'm going Roman Reigns. He didn't win at WrestleMania. There's no way he does not win in the steel cage. There's no way he loses, pardon me. And then the final one, the big one, the first ever 50-man Royal Rumble match
50-man.
where the winner
Who cares?
receives a trophy.
Trophy!
Participants so far include Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, The Big Show, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Elias, Baron Corbin, all three members of New Day, Apollo Crews, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, Chad Gable, Goldust, Titus O'Neil, Mojo Rawley, and Dolph Ziggler. So you guys can pick any from that list or somebody else.
Goldust.
I'm going to go with Elias.
You're going with Elias. You're going with Goldust. I'm gonna... Ooh. Wow. This is not as easy as I thought it would be. I'm gonna go Daniel Bryan on that one. So those are our predictions for the greatest Royal Rumble and for Redemption.
Yay!
Alright, Fro, I hear that you have to get going, but real quick, what's going on another Digital Citizen?
On another Digital Citizen, we talk about the fourth industrial revolution.
Ooh.
And it's more fun than you think.
Oh, interesting.
This is a nice stomach.
Alright, Fro, I will talk to you next week. Say
Bye.
Alright, so, Jacob is here with me. Yeah. You want to finish up the show with me? Alright. So, I do want to talk about, real quick, this Saturday, tomorrow, I will be at MCW's Tribute to the Legends Convention. Yes?
Is that you?
No, that is not me.
That looks exactly like you.
Nah.
That should be you.
No, my beard is a lot better than that guy's.
Nah,
So,
I don't care.
anyway,
Ma.
so let's get some information. Let's get some information out. Can I talk, please?
Yes, mama.
All right.
Mama.
So the doors will open tomorrow at 11 a.m. for VIP pass, 11:30 a.m. for everybody else. The convention hours are from 12 to 5 p.m. The featured guests are Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash. You want to try to say that?
Kevin Nash.
Good try. Also,
hello, this is Jake. This is Spiny speaking. I would like to take over the world. Goodbye and kill everyone.
he has a toy dinosaur with him. Other guests that will be there.
I'm a pet dinosaur.
Other guests include.
Call me a pet dinosaur.
It's not a pet dinosaur. It's a toy dinosaur.
Call me a pet dinosaur.
Okay, your pet dinosaur.
Yes.
Okay. Other guests include Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, Mosh. Hey, I'm trying to plug this. Mosh from the Headbangers, Ernest the Cat Miller, Lex Luger, Scott Norton, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, Darren Young, and Samu, along with his son, Lance Anoa'i. The convention is from 12 to 5 p.m. And then there is a show that night. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. The show.
Hi, I'm David Run.
And the show starts at 7.
I'm David Run.
So if you guys come.
I'm my dinosaur.
So if you guys come to the convention, Jacob will not be there, but I will be there along with my friends. We're gonna have our booth. So please come visit us tomorrow if you can, and drop by and say hi. So, Okay. I apologize about that. So now that Jacob is gone, my nephew, just want to give everyone a quick update. On the convention, excuse me. It is tomorrow. It is this Saturday. Doors open at 11 a.m. for VIP pass users, 11:30 a.m. for everybody else. The convention is from 12 to 5 p.m. The featured guests are Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash. Let me give you guys some pricing details. You can get the VIP pass for $250, which includes VIP line access, 3 autographs from each of the two. And it also gets you into the arena at 11 a.m. the morning of the event. Photo ops are good for 2 adults and up to 2 minors. Now, you can do a combo, which is an autograph and group photo for $125. You could get the Shawn Michaels only combo for $100, which is a photo and an autograph, and the Kevin Nash combo, 1 photo, 1 autograph, $40. And then they also have a special one of the Wolfpack, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac, which is a photo op from 3 to 3:30 p.m. That is $75. Also attending this event will be Mosh of the Headbangers, Ernest the Cat Miller, Lex Luger, Scott Norton, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, Darren Young, Samu, and Lance Honorwoy. So please, if you're coming to this event, check it out. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. We're going to have a table. We're going to be selling some cool stuff. Come by, say hi, visit for a little bit, chat with me, talk with, some of my friends that are going to be there. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. It's going to be a tremendous time this Saturday, April the 21st. Once again, the Tribute to the Legends convention. And then that night, there is a wrestling show. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. The show starts at 7 p.m. So should be a fun night for everybody involved. Okay, I want to talk about the Superstar Shakeup real quick. It did happen over the previous Monday and Tuesday. I put down who was taken during this, and we'll start with Raw. This is who they got from SmackDown. It started off with Jinder Mahal. He was the first one to go. And then we had all 3 members of the Riot Squad. Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan are going, or went. And then we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a very well done segment, I might add, to join Raw. Breezango is going. Natalya is there. So is Dolph Ziggler. Drew McIntyre being called up from NXT was a bit of a surprise. Not surprised that he got called up, but the way they did it, I thought that was done really well. Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode. Now, those were the people that were called up on TV, or the move was made on TV. Off TV, on YouTube and other forms of social media, the following people got called up. The Ascension, Chad Gable, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, and Zack Ryder round out that group. As far as SmackDown goes, we found out on Monday night that The Miz was going to SmackDown, so we knew ahead of time. Jeff Hardy went. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, Absolution, are going. Samoa Joe, Big Cass, Asuka, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are going. Cesaro and Sheamus are going, and R-Truth rounds out that group. Obviously, they were thinking of quantity over quality, with Raw getting more talent. However, in the end, I look at it as quality over quantity. I think SmackDown did a whole lot better. First off, getting The Miz, which is good, because now you have that whole feud with him and Daniel Bryan that can have it maybe a conclusion to that, because that's been going on for years, but it'll be fun no matter what. Jeff Hardy winning the U.S. title from Jinder Mahal on Monday night, then going to SmackDown Tuesday, was very interesting. but a good move there. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, I think that's actually a good move for them going to SmackDown. They do need a little bit more polishing. They're going to get better in the ring. We've seen it in Mandy. I think Mandy can get better. Sonya has the potential to be really, really good. So I think that move going to SmackDown is going to be very good for the both of them. Samoa Joe, oh my gosh, that actually might be the best move they made of this entire shakeup. Because honestly, what is there for Joe to do at this point? You go to SmackDown, you can have him against Styles, you can have him against Daniel Bryan, you can have him against Miz, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton. The list goes on and on. Could be very, very fun to see Samoa Joe on Tuesday nights. Big Cass, that's an interesting one. But I think this is going to work. I think this will work for him. Coming back from injury, big opportunity, pardon the pun. I think this is going to be good for him. I think him on SmackDown, new opportunity, new adventure. Let's see what happens. Asuka to SmackDown was a smart move. She did everything on Raw. Why not go to SmackDown? The tag teams, I think the big winner in this entire shakeup is the SmackDown tag team division, because now you have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows along with Cesaro and Sheamus in that mix. So you've got those two teams plus the Bludgeon Brothers, the New Day, and the Usos. You add them to the mix. And then we saw, now this was not part of the Superstar Shakeup, but we saw a video promo for the group Sanity coming. So right there, you got 6 tag teams in what could be a very filled tag team division, and that could be right there the best tag team division, not only in all of WWE, but you can make a good argument that it could be the best tag team division in all of wrestling at this point right now. And then R-Truth is a nice little add to the end. We probably won't see him a lot there, but, somebody had to go, I guess. For Raw, Jinder Mahal going to Raw makes sense. Winning the WWE title and then the US title at WrestleMania pretty much has done everything he could do over there. Although him losing the US title was very surprising, but we do get the rematch at the Greatest Royal Rumble in a week, so we'll see how that goes. Riot Squad, I think, is a good move because now you have Nia Jax as the Raw Women's Champion, and you could tell a good story of you need a group to take down the big Nia Jax, and this is a good one. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, this was pretty much, a line in the sand. We knew this was going to come. That's probably the best move right there, is Owens and Zayn going to Raw. Breezango, this could be an interesting case. This could be interesting, because the way that they were given on Monday night, beating Cesaro and Sheamus, maybe there's hope for this tag team. Maybe we'll see more of them on television in matches. Natalya, she's just there being the veteran. That's all I really see on that. Dolph Ziggler is a good move. And then with Drew McIntyre, wow, that's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Baron Corbin, I've heard rumors there could be big plans for him. Vince is really high on this guy. So we'll see what happens there. And then Bobby Roode, he did need a change of scenery. I wonder if he'll become a heel. I do wonder. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. We're not really sure. As far as the others go, I think the Ascension, they're in a tough situation right now. But with the Raw Tag Team division the way it is, it's not really together right now. Maybe the Ascension makes a move in that tag team division. Chad Gable, I think, has the potential to be a steal move here. Chad Gable has the talent, has the ability, has learned very quickly in the short amount of time that he's been a professional wrestler from his days as an amateur wrestler, I think he could be something. If they give him the chance, he could really be something. Mike Kanellis, God bless him, got himself cleaned up, got himself together. I hope he works out. I really do. If given the chance, he's going to be big. Mojo Rawley, Mojo's cool, but I wonder if his time has already passed him. And then Zack Ryder, I really don't know why Zack went to Raw. Nothing against him, but it just happened. That's how I look at it. So all in all, I think SmackDown got the better on the shakeup, and I think Samoa Joe's going to be the big steal out of this. I think he's going to be the big winner coming out of that Superstar Shakeup, because now you give him fresher matches, fresher opportunities, and we'll see where that goes from here. It'll be very interesting to see. Alright, that's going to do it for the show. Do the quick plugs. You can follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. You can follow me on Twitter at House of Bill. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. Type that in the search bar and you are right there. And if you can't find us for some reason, it's okay. Go to the link in the description box of this week's episode and you are right there. Check out our website, thatwrestlingshow.com. Please visit my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Your support, your donations will help not only this podcast, but some of the other podcasts that I do. Also want to give some shout outs to W2M Max, or W2Mnet.com. You can check them out with their news and coverage on the world of not only professional wrestling, but sports, entertainment, video games. You want to check them out. Don't forget to listen to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Marotta and Michael Quinn. They release a new episode each and every Monday. They talk about the world of retro wrestling for, us fans that love retro wrestling like myself. It's a very fun show to listen to every week. And don't forget to listen to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with Ring of Honor star Brian Malonis, the Kingpin, and Mike Crockett, who is on an indefinite hiatus from being a referee. They talk about everything that goes on, the ins and outs of professional wrestling from their point of view. Next week on That Wrestling Show, we will review, or at least I will review anyway, Impact Wrestling's Redemption pay-per-view, and maybe we'll sneak in the Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm not really sure. I'd like to stay home to see it, but remains to be seen. Also, get some audio from the Tribute to the Legends convention that is taking place this weekend. So on that note, everybody have a good rest of your week. Have a great weekend. If you are coming to the Tribute to the Legends convention on Saturday, please stop by our table, say hi to us, talk. We'll do the chatter about anything and everything in the world of professional wrestling. And after that, come back to this show next week for a brand new episode of That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always, wrestle on.